I'm Tom, 27 years old. I work for a beverage company. My job is to refill and manage vending machines. I live with my parents in a small town far from the city center. I was raised with lots of love from my father, who works at a construction company, and my stay-at-home mother. This area is rural, so the community ties are strong. My next-door neighbor, May, is my childhood friend of the same age, and we've been playing together since preschool. Although we're different genders, we've been together for so long that I think of her as a sister and have never seen her as a woman. I'm sure May feels the same way. We're still close as families, often going out to eat together. It's a picture-perfect peaceful home. But an incident happened in our home 20 years ago in March. It was a Saturday, and I was relaxing at home after having lunch since I had the day off from work. Oh, you're here, May.
Yeah, your mom invited me, Tom. Well, I made too much fried rice, so it's perfect that you can come, May.
When May comes over, my mom gets so happy and chatty that the house becomes lively. I thought I'd go back to my room and quietly read some books, but then the doorbell rang. Who could it be? Ah, it's Grandma. Mom, Grandma is here.
Oh, really? Dad, did you know Grandma was coming?
It was my paternal grandmother, who hadn't shown up in a long time. She doesn't get along well with my dad, so we don't have much interaction with her. She's the type who says whatever comes to mind, often making snide remarks without realizing it. My dad had a somewhat turbulent childhood. Grandma divorced at 30 and raised my dad as a single mother. She remarried the following year, and my uncle Ken was born. At the sensitive age of 12, my dad felt like he lost his mom to his new brother, which made him lonely. So, after graduating high school, my dad left home and joined a company. He had a tough time from a young age. Despite that, my dad is kind and strong, and I look up to him. He then asked Grandma, "What's going on, Mom? You came without any notice."
Long time no see. I'll come in for a bit. This girl is Helen, Ken's daughter. Oh, Helen, I didn't recognize you since you were a baby last time. You've grown up. Hello.
My mom smiled warmly as she welcomed her, but the girl didn't make eye contact and looked down.
Hey, at least greet them. My daughter-in-law is useless, and having a girl as the first child is disappointing.
Grandma was smiling, but I was shocked she could say such things in front of the person.
Let's not stand around talking. Please come in.
We served Grandma warm tea and Helen orange juice. Would you like some chocolate? Helen glanced at me and slowly nodded. Grandma took a sip and started talking. You know that Helen's mother died of a heart attack last September, right? I attended the funeral. It was tough.
My poor son. The only saving grace is that she gave birth to little Mike, the only one I adore.
Without anyone asking, Grandma opened her flip phone and showed us a picture of her 2-year-old grandson.
He's so adorable right now, but with no mother, the house is a mess. It's really tough every day.
That must be hard.
That's why I brought her here, hoping you could take care of her just for the spring break.
That's not a nice way to put it. How can you say that in front of Helen? My usually calm dad spoke harshly.
If you don't want to, just for the spring break is fine, just until kindergarten starts. It's hard for me to take care of both her and the cute little boy.
As Grandma said that, I whispered to Helen, who was sitting next to me. Grandma is really mean. Doesn't she call you by your name? Grandma wanted a boy. Actually, I'd heard a bit about Grandma wanting a boy. When my aunt was pregnant, Grandma pressured her, saying,
The eldest son must take care of the family grave, or the family line will end.
But Helen was born. My parents said that Helen and her mother had a miserable time after that. Uncle Ken hardly held Helen or took care of her after she was born. And Grandma didn't take many pictures of Helen. After Helen's younger brother Mike was born, Grandma doted on him and ignored Helen and her mother.
Since her mother died, she doesn't smile and often just stares blankly. It's not childlike, and it frustrates me.
I was furious at Grandma for saying such things. Hey Mom, I've been listening quietly, But stop saying such nonsense. Just because she's a child, does that mean you can say anything? Even a child understands what's being said to them. It's only natural for a 3-year-old who wants to be with her mom to lose her smile after losing her beloved mother. But isn't it the responsibility of the adults around her to support her with love? Were you always like this as a mother? Don't disappoint me with such behavior. Dad looked sad as he said that. Grandma smirked.
You don't have to get so angry.
I was getting more and more frustrated with Grandma, who could laugh in such a serious situation. Enough. Dad, let's take care of Helen. I think it would be much better for her to be here than to stay with Grandma. At that moment, Helen glanced at me. In her eyes, I saw despair and a lack of trust in adults. I made a decision in my heart. I agree. I'm disappointed in both you and Ken, Mom. Let's live together here, Helen.
That's great. Here are her clothes.
Grandma handed a small backpack to my dad and left. She waved her hand without looking back as she left my house.
Are you okay, honey?
Sorry, I raised my voice.
Well, I'm glad you got angry. Even I was getting mad.
No, I'm embarrassed that May saw that.
What are you talking about? Uncle, our families are like one. Don't worry about it. It's strange for adults to change their attitude based on the gender of a child.
Helen, were you scared when Uncle got angry?
I'm okay.
Helen said that while holding a stuffed animal. She never looked at Grandma, so I thought she might be relieved that the scary Grandma was gone. I was also angry at Grandma for bringing Helen to our house as if she were a burden. Helen, I'm Tom. Everyone in this house will take good care of you, so don't worry. I'm also happy to have such a cute guest. Nice to meet you.
Now, let's put the clothes Grandma brought into the dresser. Helen's clothes are just one t-shirt, one pair of pants, one piece of underwear, and one pair of socks. Is that all?
I was surprised as I said that. That's all? Yes. That's all of my clothes. That can't be. Don't you have more? Did someone tell you that you don't need clothes because you have a kindergarten uniform? I asked in disbelief.
Who would say that?
May asked, looking exasperated. Are you kidding? If I had a cute 5-year-old girl, I want to buy her all sorts of things.
Helen, who gave you that panda you're holding?
May asked gently.
Mom did. I want to see Mom. I want Mom.
Helen's words made our hearts ache. We felt a sense of helplessness against a wish that could never be fulfilled.
Helen, you want to see your mom, right? I understand how you feel. Actually, I had a sister 2 years younger than me. Her name was Mary. Right after Mary turned 5, she was hit by a truck while riding her bike to a friend's house and died. It's been over 20 years, but I still want to see Mary sometimes.
May spoke with tears in her eyes. I'm May. I live next door. Come over to play anytime. Let's be friends. May hugged Helen while crying. Seeing tears in Helen's eyes too, my dad, Mom, and I all cried. I made a vow in my heart. No matter how she was treated in that house, it doesn't matter. We'll give her all the love we can here.
Of course, we'll cherish her. Right, Helen?
Hearing my mom's words, Helen seemed a bit relieved. I had no idea what to talk about with Helen, but I went to a nearby bookstore to find something that might interest her. I flipped through picture books and children's books that a 4-year-old might read. I wondered what kind of books she liked and what would make her happy. In the end, I bought 2 picture books featuring cute squirrels and 2 magazines for young children and went home. Helen, do you like these kinds of books? When I showed her the books I bought, Helen's eyes lit up. Shall we read together? When I opened the book, Helen sat on my lap. I was happy she sat there without hesitation. In the evening, my mom started preparing dinner.
Helen, I want to make something you like for dinner today. What do you want?
Something I like?
Yes. What's your favorite food?
I asked with great interest.
I don't know.
Helen answered in a small voice.
No, anything is fine. Just tell us what you like.
We gently encouraged her.
I've never thought about it, so I don't know. At Dad's house, I don't eat dinner.
We were shocked by Helen's words. What do you mean? Our minds were filled with question marks.
Grandma said Helen eats plenty at kindergarten, so she doesn't need dinner, right? Is that why Helen is so small for a 4-year-old?
Mom said, bewildered.
Doesn't your dad or grandma eat dinner? No, it's just me who doesn't eat dinner.
Helen answered with a smile. Seeing that smile made my heart ache. I couldn't believe they wouldn't give such a small child enough to eat. Dad, I don't think we should send Helen back to Grandma's even after spring break. You're right. It's too scary to send her back there. I wish we had realized this sooner. Mom agreed. That night, we had hamburgers. The table was set with fluffy handmade hamburgers, consommé vegetable soup, potato salad, and seaweed rice. For dessert, we had Swiss roll cake, apples, and strawberries. May made the potato salad. Since it was Helen's welcome party, May's parents joined us for dinner.
Wow, can I eat all of this?
Helen was overjoyed.
I've never seen so much food before.
Helen ate, moving her small mouth busily. Mom watched her with narrowed eyes. May's mom was in tears.
I'm sorry. I can't help but think of my Mary when I see Helen. Some kids can't live even if they want to. How can anyone not cherish such a cute child? Dad, Mom, can I dote on Helen? There are so many things I wanted to do for Mary. Yes, I agree. We're neighbors, but we're like family. If there's anything we can do, don't hesitate to ask. You can't give too much love. Let's all cherish Helen.
Thank you, everyone. I'm so happy to be surrounded by such warm people. That was the first time I saw Dad cry. Since I was little, he always said men shouldn't cry. Seeing him cry was a shock. That night, the four of us, Dad, Mom, Helen, and I slept together in the living room. Helen fell asleep quickly, holding Mom's hand. My mom, who had never raised a girl, seemed delighted to take care of Helen. She bought a catalog, enjoyed tying Helen's hair, and took baths with her. When Helen first came, her hair was messy and she hadn't bathed properly. But she became clean and looked cuter every day. Today was the day to buy clothes for Helen.
Helen, shall we go shopping for clothes with Auntie? Really? Yes, Auntie wants to see you in cute clothes. Pick what you like, and I'll buy it for you.
Helen hesitated to choose.
Helen, how about this? This would look good on you too.
Mom bought a lot of clothes that would suit Helen.
Is it okay to have so many? This so cute. I'm happy.
May's mom is here too. Helen, are you here? I bought something for you. How about it?
Well, we all had the same idea. It's no wonder with such a cute doll-like child here.
The three of them laughed together.
Does this look good? Helen is cute.
After they left, Helen tried on the clothes in front of the mirror, looking like a doll. The following Saturday, we decided to take Helen somewhere to play. Helen, do you want to go somewhere to play? Where would you like to go? The zoo or an amusement park?
Can May come too? I want to go to the park together.
The park? There's one right behind this house.
Yes, let's go now.
We ran after Helen and arrived at the park. May and I played a lot with Helen. We played tag, hide and seek, on the swings, and the slide. In the evening, Helen laughed innocently as we stepped on each other's shadows. Helen has so much energy. Kids have amazing stamina, but it's so much fun. At that moment, I wanted to protect her smile and keep her happy forever. Can we go to the park? Helen, who had grown to love the park, asked whenever I had a day off. It was adorable. One day, it rained on my day off. We can't go to the park today. Helen looked disappointed. Just in case, I had prepared a cute red umbrella, rain boots, and a raincoat that would suit Helen.
Thank you.
Wearing them, we started our rainy day outing. Helen found a snail in front of the house and kept watching it. Everything, the umbrella, the boots, the raincoat was cute. She loved rainy days too.
Oh, Helen, your umbrella, boots, and raincoat are lovely. So cute. Tom bought them for me. That's great. Wonderful. Tom, you'll make a great dad someday.
May praised me in an unusually serious tone, making my face turn red.
All right, you two, have fun.
2 weeks had passed since Helen came to our house.
Helen, why don't you come over to my place sometimes? I want to go to May's house. Tom, come too.
All right, how about we visit around 3 o'clock? So, my parents, Helen, and I prepared ourselves to go to May's house for snacks.
Since it's a special occasion, let's make a strawberry tart to bring over. I love your strawberry tart, Auntie. I'm looking forward to it. What's a strawberry tart? It's a strawberry dessert. Helen, do you want to help make it? Yes.
So Helen helped to bake the tart. The delicious aroma filled the house. It was then time to go to May's house. Hello. Thank you for having us.
Welcome. Oh, what a delicious looking strawberry tart. Did Helen help make this? Yes, I helped. Thank you. Let's all enjoy it together later.
Since May is a piano teacher, there's a grand piano in the room upstairs.
What's this? This is a piano. I teach piano here. Wow, is this a real piano?
Of course, it's real. You can touch it if you want.
But if I touch it, it'll get dirty. Dad and Grandma said I'm dirty. Helen, you're not dirty at all. The ones who called you dirty have dirty hearts. You're very lovely. Really? Of course. You're cute enough to be an idol. Forget all the hard times you've had and feel free to think of this place as your home.
With May's kind words, Helen started to cry big tears. May hugged her tightly. My heart trembled too.
Helen, if you're interested in the piano, I'll teach you anytime. I'm happy. I want to play the piano.
After that, Helen started taking piano lessons seriously with May. There's only 1 week left of spring break. Did you tell Grandma that we're going to keep Helen?
Yes, I did. But neither Grandma nor Ken said anything in particular.
So we can raise her here?
For Helen's sake, that's the best. We can't send her back to a house where she's treated so badly.
So, even after spring break, Helen stayed with us. First, we went to the city hall to transfer her residency.
I'm glad we found a kindergarten quickly. It's within walking distance from the house.
Yes, let's prepare a room for Helen too.
I want to fill it with things she loves, so she knows how much we care about her. Let's buy a piano too. Since she's learning, she should have one at home.
A new piano arrived, and we set up a bookshelf. Helen loves books. We developed a habit of reading picture books every night before bed. Helen, come here for a moment. When I walked into the room, Helen first noticed the piano.
Is that a piano?
Yes, it's yours. It's a gift from Uncle and Auntie, so you can practice at home.
Wow, thank you.
Helen was overjoyed and ran to the piano. She jumped up and down and ran to me with a big smile.
Helen, I have a present for you too. You love your panda stuffed animal, right? It might be lonely by itself, so I brought a friend for it. Thank you.
Helen exclaimed with shining eyes and hugged the stuffed cat May gave her as a friend for her panda. Seeing her smile warmed my heart. May also smiled brightly. Thank you for the cat. I'll play with them together. Watching May, my heart skipped a beat for some reason. I realized that the reason May had been coming over more often lately was to play with Helen. May, being a piano teacher, was good with kids, and Helen quickly grew attached to her. I started to see May more as a woman, noticing her kindness and thoughtfulness. But it was embarrassing to think of May, who had been with me since preschool, in that way now, and I couldn't tell anyone. I worried that if May found out, she might think it was creepy. May had always been popular because of her cute looks, and I had seen classmates confess to her in middle and high school. However, I had never talked about romance with May, so I didn't know she had a boyfriend now. The thought that she might already have a boyfriend without me knowing made me anxious. 2 years passed, and it was time to prepare for Helen's elementary school enrollment. One day, I talked to my dad. Dad, I want to formally adopt Helen. By the time Helen becomes an adult, you and Mom will be nearly 70, and you'll retire at 60. I think it would be better if I adopt her.
That's very kind of you, but you can't adopt Helen.
You have to be married to adopt Helen, Tom. Despite making that decision, I decided to ask Helen what she wanted. Helen, it looks like you'll be staying with us. How do you feel about living with me?
I'm happy. I love you, Tom. You take me to the park.
At that moment, I felt both joy and the heavy reality that I couldn't adopt Helen as things stood. After much thought, I decided to invite May out for a meal. May asked in surprise, "Why all of a sudden? Just the two of us." It's rare, so I thought it might be nice.
I feel bad going out without Helen. We should have brought her.
About that, I want to formally adopt Helen and become her parent.
That's great. You finally decided.
But there's one problem. I can't adopt a child if I'm single. I'll have to get married first.
I see. That's unfortunate.
May, I need to tell you something. I've always thought of you as a sister since we were little. But seeing you with Helen, I realized how kind and loving you are. I realized I love you. Will you marry me and help me create a happy family with Helen?
This is a good opportunity. So can I tell you something too?
Of course. Tell me anything.
If you couldn't adopt Helen, I was planning to take care of her at my parents' house. So I'm all for raising Helen together. And Tom, you probably didn't know because you're so dense, but I've liked you since elementary school.
What? I didn't know, but you were so popular.
I never dated anyone because I liked you. Even in middle and high school, I gave you chocolates on Valentine's Day, but you always thought they were just friendship chocolates. You were so dense that it became funny.
I'm such a fool. I'm sorry.
No, just being close to you was enough. I'm sorry for making you wait.
May, please marry me. May smiled with tears in her eyes.
I'm so happy. I've been waiting for this for a long time. Thank you, Tom. Tom, it was wonderful how you naturally took Helen in and cared for her. I love that about you.
Thank you. Let's take responsibility and raise Helen as our daughter together. I hugged May. When we told our parents about our marriage, no one was surprised, and everyone was very happy for us.
It was more surprising that you weren't dating before. May is reliable, so I'm relieved. Congratulations.
Helen, we have something important to tell you. May and I are getting married,
Congratulations, Tom.
and we'll be your mom and dad.
You and May will be my parents? That's too amazing.
Helen cried with joy. After that, we registered our marriage and formally adopted Helen. We would live independently from our parents as a result, but of course, my dad said,
As long as Helen is happy, that's all that matters.
"Helen, let's continue to be happy together."
I'm so happy I can become family with the people I love.
A year after registering our marriage, we had a wedding. Helen was our flower girl. She wore a dress like May's and looked cute and a bit proud. The skinny Helen who was brought to our house was no longer there. When May walked down the aisle, Helen held her veil and walked with her.
Watching her in tears, my mom said, Helen, walking tall and proud, looks beautiful. She's grown so much.
It was great that the three of us became a family. A year later, May gave birth to a baby girl named Amy. Helen adored her little sister. Time flew by as we raised our children, and this spring, Amy graduated from high school. Helen, now 26, graduated from an education university and teaches English at a middle school. Seeing her find her path and grow was dazzling.
Today is our 20th wedding anniversary, so we're having a feast tonight. Mom, you cooked so many of Dad's favorite dishes. Shall we toast? Wait a minute. I have a letter for both of you. Mom, Dad. What's this, Helen? We hardly get a letter from you. To Mom and Dad, congratulations on your 20th wedding anniversary. Thank you for becoming my family. I still remember when I was brought to Dad's house. It was definitely you who loved and raised me. It must have been incredibly difficult to take in a stranger and raise her as your own daughter. But you raised me with all your love. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be your daughter. I'll pass on the love you gave me to my students. I still love you all. From Helen.
May, Amy, and I couldn't hold back our tears. Helen, seeing us, cried too. We've been married for 20 years. May is still beautiful. I love her and all of our family members.